So I am in the book of Isaiah, and I'm going through the Bible book by book, right? And I have never seen this before in my life. Isaiah, and let me say just Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel are hard chapters for me to get through. Anytime I think of Isaiah, I think of doom and gloom, like, oh, this is coming, oh, this is coming. And like, I guess that's human nature. Like, nobody wants to know that trouble is on the way. But it's in his word. He guarantees that trouble is coming, but he also promises to be there to help you through it. So let me tell you what I discovered when I was reading Isaiah. The first thing I noticed was in the beginning, because I would read this, I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just such doom and gloom, doom, 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 doom. It's like, I don't want to read that. I want to read the uplifting stuff. But, you know, this is part of life. It literally says messages of judgment. That is why I've been reading doom and gloom, because I'm all up in the judgments. And like, I don't know, I just got to Isaiah 39. And this literally just stood out to me that it literally says, let me get to it. It literally says messages of comfort. What a thoughtful and caring God that he tells Isaiah, or he has people break this book down into parts. Like, the older I get, the more I'm not reading the Bible as just stories. I'm reading it as like a manual for life. So a passage that I thought was very interesting was 38, Isaiah 38 and Isaiah 39. All right, so boom. Hezekiah is king, and he gets sick. And Isaiah comes to visit him, right? So he turns away from Isaiah, and he says, Hezekiah, the Bible says, Hezekiah turned away from Isaiah and facing the wall, prayed to God. God, please, I beg you, remember how I lived my life. I've lived faithfully in your presence, lived out a heart that was totally yours. You've seen how I've lived, the good that I have done. And Hezekiah wept as he prayed, painful tears. Then God told Isaiah, go and speak with Hezekiah. Give him this message from me, God, the God of your ancestor David. I've heard your prayer. I've seen your tears. Here's what I'll do. I'll add 15 years to your life, and I'll save both you and this city from the king of Assyria. I have my hand on this city, and this is your confirming sign, confirming that I, God, will do exactly what I have promised. Watch for this. And then Hezekiah goes and he makes a journal entry, right? The next chapter, boy, if this, let me pause right here. If this next chapter don't tell you the messiness of humanity, like, I don't know what is. So we just read that he was sick, right? God gave him 15 more years of life. And this is YouTube, so it's long format. So you with me for a reason. And we gonna be up in this Bible, right? All right. So it says, chapter 39, and I hope I don't mess his name up, but I know I'm about to mess this king's name up. Chapter 39. Sometime later, King Merodach-Baladan, son of Baladan of Babylon, sent messengers with greetings and a gift to Hezekiah. He had heard that Hezekiah had been sick and was now well. Talk about going to send you some get well goodies. Hezekiah received the messengers warmly, right? Because he was just sick. So no, he probably had no visitors for a minute. And, you know, I don't know. I'm just interpreting what I am interpreting this passage as best I can at 29 years of life through my lens of life experiences. Okay. So boom, he was sick. He thought he was dead and gone. He was checked out and he got some visitors. So he received them warmly, right? He took them on a tour of his royal precincts. proudly showing them all his treasures: silver, gold, spices, expensive oils, all his weapons, everything out on display. Nobody asked to see your palace. Nobody asked to see where you kept it. He did this unprompted. How many times have we done something, signed up for something, volunteered something that cost us, that we were not prompted to? Now I get he was just sick. Now, and I listen, my little 29 years of life, I have mess. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. I have mess. I can see me in here. How many times I have volunteered myself. Not necessarily all the stuff I have, because, growing up it was like, I ain't saying people steal, but, you don't put everything out on display. You don't tell everybody your business. A good ancient wisdom passed down through generations is you never tell your girlfriends everything, that kind of stuff. So I was kind of raised in that fashion. So I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have shown off my whole house. Like, and I'll have friends, I love them. They'll be like, oh, let me take on a house tour. I'll be like, I don't want to see what all you got. And not that I'll be envious or anything. It's just, number one, I don't want you to respect that from me, because you're not getting no house tour. Okay? You can go in that living room. You can go in that kitchen. You can go to that bathroom. But everything else, I ain't showing you. I am not showing you. Because how many times have we read in the Bible that somebody was close to them and they betrayed them? David, he had them left and right. One of his head chief, I can't remember his name. One of his chief people switched and wanted to help his son or something like that. I'll do another video on that. But anyway, I'm digressing. Just yapping. So we left off on chapter 2, that Hezekiah unprompted told and showed these messengers with greetings and a gift from another king. He showed them everything. There was nothing in his house or kingdom that Hezekiah didn't show them. So we already know this tour wasn't here's the bathroom, here's the kitchen, here's the living room, here's our bedroom, here's our backyard. It was like, that city over there, that's where we get the water, that's where we keep the money. Like, and these people, they have no rank. They have no rank. They're just, hey, we just here to drop off. He's like, oh, by the way, let me show you what we got. And you think that they're not going to tell their king so that they can move up the ladder? I digress. Verse 3. I almost said episode 3. Episode 3, because the Bible, people think the Bible isn't entertaining. This is humanity. The Bible is messy, okay? Later, the prophet Isaiah showed up. He asked Hezekiah, what were these men up to? What did they say? And where did they come from? Hezekiah said, they came from a long way off, from Babylon. And what did they see in your palace? Everything, said Hezekiah. I showed them the works, opened all the doors, and impressed them with it all. Then Isaiah said to Hezekiah, now listen to the message from God of the angel armies. I have to warn you. The time is coming when everything in this palace, along with everything your ancestors accumulated before you, will be hauled off to Babylon. God says that there will be nothing left. There'll be nothing left. Nothing. And not only your things, but your sons. Some of your sons will be taken into exile, ending up as eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. Hezekiah replied to Isaiah, good, if God says so, it's good. Within himself, he was thinking, but surely nothing bad will happen in my lifetime. Ew. Sorry, he didn't say that. That was my ad-lib. He says, but surely nothing bad will happen in my lifetime. I'll enjoy peace and stability as long as I live. I feel like this story right here, once the minis, is why the Lord never tells us the day nor the hour. Number one, that he's coming back. And number two, when we gonna die. Because imagine if you had 15 years to live. You like, I'll just speak for me. 15 years left to live. I have done everything that everybody has asked of me. I have done everything that everybody told me that I needed to do. I have done everything. And I'm still not where I want to be. Well, I'm about to cut out these last 15 years. You telling me I got 15 more years? I ain't scared no more. I ain't afraid. I'm living bold. I'm showing everything. Not thinking about my sons. I don't have a son, but I have a daughter. I'm not thinking about them. I got 15 years left. Let me prepare them. I'll get them their life insurance, whatever. But these last 15 years is mine. These last 15 years. And this scripture right here, it hit home. That's why he don't tell us when we about to check up out of here. Because we have to be living, a certain kind of way. You just got to be living a certain kind of way. And I just feel bad because, he was sick. He thought he was going out of here. He thought he was getting out of here. He done wrote a journal entry, and he done wrote a journal entry. Let me see if I can find it. It says, God saves and will save me. And then the next chapter, we don't know how much time is going to pass. It just says sometime later. So he done probably had time to sit and think. It's like, I got 15 more years. I don't know. I got 15 more years. Like, I would be happy. We don't know how much time he had left after these 15 years. This could have been the last year. This could have been the last year. And he just, well, now that my time's up, let me just tell you all that I've accomplished. Like, all of this was unprompted. And I just think, the Bible, if everything was perfect, we wouldn't see ourselves. And I sometimes don't see myself in characters because obviously we think higher of ourselves than what we read, right? We're like, ooh, that's messy. Like, but how many times have we been messy? How many times have God delivered us from something and then we turned around and went right back in it? Lord, if you save me from this relationship, I will not go back. You didn't go back to him, but you went back to somebody you went back to the spirit that was attached. Names changed, but the person's still the same. And I am not talking. I've had a past. That's all I'm going to say. So I think this is a good warning lesson that, number one, God is intentional. When he had this, whoever wrote this, or Isaiah wrote it, but when he had whoever put this Bible together, first start out with judgment. And I also think it's crazy that, now this is the Message Bible. I also think it's crazy that the Songs of Solomon is just before this doom and gloom. Like, I digress. But the intentionality of God, that he tells you up front, hey, these are messages of judgment. And these are messages of comfort. And I don't know, like, in the structure, like, because obviously we read it, like, all together. But this could have been, like, a judgment. Judgment is coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And then it switches over to comfort. But it could have been judgment, judgment, comfort. Judgment, judgment, comfort. And I think the next section is broken out to is hope. What a thoughtful God that he tells you he's about to judge you because he's fair. And his judgments are fair. And we deserve all of it. I ain't gonna talk about y'all. I deserve all of it. And then he goes into comfort. And then after comfort, he gives us messages of hope. What an intentional God. And then I think the other thing that really blessed my soul, I think a lot of, I won't say a lot of Baptist pastors because I haven't been to a lot of them, but I think this is a common paragraph or passage that they'll extract their message from. It says, it's Isaiah 40. Yeah. Isaiah 40. Verse 27. Why would you ever complain, O Jacob, O Caleb, or whine, Israel, Caleb, saying, God has lost track of me. He does not care what happens to me. Do I know anything? Do you know anything? Haven't you been listening? God doesn't come and go. God lasts. He's creator of all you can see or imagine. He doesn't get tired out, doesn't pause to catch his breath, and he knows everything inside and out. He energizes those who get tired, gives fresh strength to dropouts, for even young people tire and drop out. Young folk in their prime stumble and fall. But those who wait upon the Lord get fresh strength. They spread their wings and soar like eagles. They run and don't get tired. They walk and don't lag behind. I was raised Southern Baptist, and that passage hits a little bit different in King James. So let me pull that up real quick because it's long format. And it reads, Isaiah 40:31, King James Version. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. The Message Bible is good, but sometimes that King James hit a little different. It hit a little different. I'm going to read it one more time and I'm going to leave you. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. What Isaiah has taught me that I missed all the years that I struggled reading through Isaiah. Because again, I don't want to read about the doom and gloom. I really don't. But it's in here. It's in here. But what I took from this is don't show everybody what's in your house, because you doing that can not only take what you have, but all the things that your ancestors have lined up to. I guess in modern terms, if you choose to crash out, all the inheritance, if you get any, that was left for you is gone. Any assets gone. You just passing on liabilities. So instead of passing on generational blessings, you passing on generational curses. So that was a good watch out for me. Just be mindful. Like, I'm not where I want to be, but if the Lord ever, I don't even want to go there. I don't even want to go there. Just to be mindful of who's in your house, who's watching your house, doing things unprompted that nobody asked for. Like, nobody asked for a tour of your place. Nobody asked to know where the weapons are. Like, some things are meant to be kept at home, in the house, in secret. I don't know if y'all, I was raised in the 90s. I don't know if y'all moms or dads ever was like, you lost your key? Now everybody gonna know how to get in that house. This is the same kind of energy. I'm learning to appreciate the Bible more and more as I get older. And I just had never seen that it was broken out in judgment and then comfort and then hope. Like, what a loving God. What a thoughtful God. And I'm going to leave you with this. God cares about us. And we read that in Isaiah 40. They that wait upon the Lord their strength shall be renewed. And so, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. He cares about us. He genuinely cares what we go through. He genuinely cares how we experience life, and he wants the best for us. And it's easy for us to think that he's human, and he's like, oh, you didn't do that? You didn't do what I asked you to? Smite. And he's not like that. Like, all of that was nailed to the cross. When he sees you, if you've given your life to Jesus Christ, his son, when he sees you, all he can see is his son. All he can see is that son that he loves so, so much. And you believing in him gives you credit. Jesus died for you gives you credit. So when he's looking at me and I'm praying to him, thankfully he sees Jesus and not all this mess. And now as a parent, I can understand that. My daughter's doing something that I prefer her not to do because it's dangerous. And I just look at her and I can just see myself. Because like, I've heard stories. I've gotten into things. I'm pretty sure I've given my parents sleepless nights. Just being up, being a baby. Or life decisions, whatever. I'm pretty sure it's coming back to me. I know it is. And just to think, like, at one point I didn't want to be a mother. I'll just divulge this. I never wanted to be a mother. Not to say I didn't want my child. I never wanted to be a mother. And she has just come and blessed my life. And so, like, as a new parent, and picking up this book again, which has never left my hands, but actually, like, digesting it slower, I appreciate all that God has done in giving his son and seeing that he sees his son in us. He lives in us. The Holy Spirit resides in us. And the intentionality that this book is thousands of years old and it's still applicable to our lives. It's still fresh word. Like, I've read this book since probably I was 16. And I have never seen that Isaiah was split up like that. And I also never saw that Isaiah, literally the next chapter after he got healed, went and gave up the goods to his kingdom. And I just wonder if he never did that. Like, would things have still happened? These are just like random questions. Would things have still happened? I probably will never get an answer for that until I go to glory. But there's still questions nonetheless. But I appreciate you for hanging out with me this long. I'm signing off. Listen, I hope you have a blessed day, blessed evening, whenever you're watching this. And I thank you for rocking with me. Peace.